What's up, y'all? It's 10 at 3 time in Tennessee. Welcome on into the program. How are you? Hope you're well. Hope everything in your life is going well. Hope you're having a good Thursday before it starts to rain here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I believe in about 45 minutes, we might have to check the radar during the broadcast today, which we can do, by the way. We can do. We got Maddie back there on the ones and twos, and she's going to know exactly how to get us to that radar. But we got a lot of sports to talk about today, and at least for the first half hour or so of the program, we got Emilie Cochrane in with us today. Emilie, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on again. I'm excited.
You are welcome. You know how excited I am? Look at this. Look at the script for today.
There's nothing.
It has the date.
The date. That means we can talk about whatever we want.
Thursday, November the 20th, 2025. We're going to talk, obviously, some Tennessee football, some Tennessee basketball. The men and the women both play tonight, either at exactly or around the same time.
7:30. 7 for the men, 7:30 for the women, Eastern Standard Time. But, they play at Murfreesboro, so it'll be 6:30 their time.
Yeah, Central Time doesn't exist.
Yeah.
This show runs on Eastern Time. The country runs on Eastern and Pacific Time. The other
agree.
time zones don't exist.
I agree.
I just don't. I act like they don't exist.
Well, yeah. I mean, coming from Philadelphia, it was so confusing figuring out that Tennessee, the state of Tennessee, had two different time zones, especially when we're so close to Nashville, too. So it is so confusing, especially when you're on deadline. It's terrible.
Yeah, but it's nice because being one county away, basically, from Central Time means that in the Eastern Time Zone, we have, like, Knoxville, we have, like, the latest summer days. Like, it's like almost 10 o'clock.
Oh my God. And it's still the sun's peaking, yeah.
Whereas in Nashville, it's the exact opposite. In the winter, it goes dark at like 2 p.m. It's just
right now it
kind
of stinks too because it's so dark at like 4 p.m. and
yes,
no fun. It's
not fun. But what is fun is a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about today. We got the men. You and I'll be at the men's game tonight, and we'll have obviously coverage from the women's game as well. A big game at MTSU. It's going to be a hostile place. I really like it when, like, the big bad team, the big bad D1 team in the state goes on the road and plays the smaller D1 teams in the state. I think that's awesome. They're always fun because you got the crowd's a really interesting mix of, like, people who really don't like Big State U, and then Big State U's got a few fans in the house too. So it's a really fun atmosphere. I love it when, like, I've covered men's games at ETSU, at UTC. I've covered women's games at MTSU where they're going tonight that were good, really good games. And so that will be fun, too. We'll have stuff from that. We're also going to talk Tennessee football. Miles Kitselman, as expected, out for this weekend. He will not be participating, I believe, the rest of the season, but certainly this week he has been ruled as out. Rendell Moe Jr. has been ruled as questionable, I believe, and so we'll see what's going on there. We'll talk about that. We'll also obviously talk Tennessee baseball. Frank Anderson now going with Tony Vitello to San Francisco. I can't – it's one of those things that when I saw it, I was like, it's shocking but not surprising, if that makes sense, because I always thought, like, the big news for Tennessee is that, or good news is that Josh Reynolds has been with the program for a bit now, for a couple years, and he was brought in specifically for
in case this would happen.
He was the succession plan because Frank, the past couple seasons, Frank is a Texas native, and as much as he's loved it here, you kind of thought he might retire. He's getting older. He might go home. He absolutely does not need money because he and his sons have invested well in real estate and other things. So he does not need money. He could just retire happily. And he doesn't want to be a head coach again. So the thought was the past couple seasons, would he maybe go to Texas? Because Tony Vitello had talked to Texas A&M the past couple off seasons and nothing worked out there, despite them throwing around a lot of money, like comical amounts of money. Tony stayed, and so Frank stayed with him. And then there was a thought when Tony went to San Francisco, well, Frank might go with him, but then maybe he won't. And then it turns out that he is. So, and he's not going to be the pitching coach for the Giants. He is going to be some sort of a pitching coordinator or assistant, something. It's not going to be. So we're not going to get any of those great Frank mound visits where Frank, when he goes out there, he doesn't really need or want to talk to his pitcher. He just really wants to go out there and yell at the home plate umpire or say something really awful on his way to and fro the meeting. So I'll miss that. But Josh Reynolds is very good. In fact, I've already heard from a few people in the program that a lot of the pitchers, they're sad. Obviously, they're disappointed, but they really like Reynolds. And so some of the team's very best pitchers talk to people around them, their families. I've not heard yet of anybody planning to try to leave because of this. Like, they really like Josh Reynolds.
Well, yeah, also, and it's the idea of hiring internally. You start with Josh Elander. That was a great move for the program to keep those recruits in place, but then also pitching is a massive part as well. Frank Anderson, 8 years at Tennessee, super close with Vitello, a big part of the program historically, just one of the best pitching coaches in the country.
Oh, yes.
40 plus years of experience. You mentioned he's from Texas.
Mm-hmm. Or at least that's his home basically.
Yeah, okay.
His permanent home.
San Francisco is going to be quite the ways away. So, like you said, it was kind of up in the air with what he was going to do, if he was going to stay, if he was going to leave, if he was going to retire, who knows. But it's not surprising, but interesting to see Tony being able to pull 2 assistants from Tennessee right now.
Yeah, and you wonder. I don't think the immediate aftermath is never a time for judgment. Whether that's personal life, that's professional life, that's what we do. When something happens, your initial reaction to it. Ask anybody that I've ever dated, my wife now especially. Ask it's not the best time. Mm-hmm. Count to 10, take some deep breaths.
It's gonna be okay.
Then you get a real, then you get the real reaction, or you have a little bit more perspective. And so, I am surprised though, or I think Tony will be surprised at the amount of people who really, really don't like this, and Tennessee fans. And you might say, well, Tony doesn't care. No, Tony cares.
Yeah.
Tony is he's
a people pleaser.
He very much loves this area. He is a people pleaser. He is someone who is very aware of what's being said all the time. He'll act like he isn't. He's very, very. He always knows what's going on in the zeitgeist. Like, he just does. Like, whether it's pop culture, whether it's rumors on the internet, he knows things, right? He knows things, and so I think taking both Quentin Eberhardt and Frank Anderson, I think he might be surprised by the reaction to that and how angry some people will be. And again, should they be? I don't know. I've always said, and this is my opinion, Emily, people should work where they want to work. People should play ball where they want to play ball. If you want to work somewhere else or play somewhere else, that's what you should go do. If you want to go work for somebody because you like working for them, we see this all the time where people, players go with their coaches now to transfer places. And so I don't think you judge anybody for that, but I think a lot of people would rather have said, hey, Tony, can you let some of these guys stay for about a year and then take them? But that's not how it goes.
Yeah, well, it could be that, or it could be maybe the other way around, right? I mean, you saw the response when Tony left. There were mixed feelings, but at the end of the day, everybody wants him to be happy and wants the best. Obviously, it's a stinky situation, but it wasn't as bad as I think people thought it was going to be when everything went down with Tony, right? Like, I don't think the response was as people were saying, it's giving Lane Kiffin energy. It's giving
if he had gone to A&M or LSU
1000%.
or Florida, then it would have been that.
Exactly. So I'm saying I feel like the trickle down of assistant coaches leaving isn't going to be as impactful for the Tennessee fan base, because the reaction from Tony wasn't as big as I think maybe us as media members were expecting. Like, of course, you have people who are upset, but they're not going to be throwing rocks at him when he comes back to visit Tennessee. You know what I mean? So I think that might trickle down into the assistants that Tony is also taking with him to San Francisco.
Yeah, I think.
Especially if they're hiring internally. Yes. They're keeping that consistency within the program. They're keeping, Elander, who the coaches love, obviously bringing up Reynolds in that position as well. Obviously not confirmed, but expected.
Kivett, all those guys.
Yeah, so
too.
I think as long as Tennessee, gives the players and the recruits that sense of consistency, it's not as bad of a situation as I think people are anticipating. Of course, you've got the trolls online, with their comments, but at the end of the day, I think people expect things to happen when a guy like Vitello goes to do something that nobody's ever done before in his case. So I don't know. I think the trickle down, it won't be as bad. It's kind of more expected, I feel like.
I think Now, the people who are on the fringes, who always get mad at everything, I don't. They're in their own category. They're gonna be upset. They're always upset. It's whether they even mean it or not. They're usually, not to paint with a broad brush, usually people who are not very happy in their own personal situation. So their life is online trying to make other people miserable, and that is it's sad, really, is what it is.
Yeah.
But I think there's beyond that. I'm not going to say that there are people wanting to throw rocks at Vitello, but when you take Quentin Eberhardt and then you take Frank Anderson, they might have some pebbles in their hands. Like they might not have rocks in their hands. They might have pebbles. Like
Maybe.
they might make, or at least a little at least a little sand to throw in the eye or something. Like they're not. This is Frank. Let's put it this way: Quentin was off-season head coach. Frank was, pitching daddy, basically. Like Tony made the decisions on who was starting and when somebody was coming off the mound. Those are the decisions Tony made. Most of the other pitching decisions were Frank Anderson's, like all of it. And we joked all the time that, in this age of like all these pitching labs and everything else, Frank Anderson, his pitching lab was a Home Depot bucket that he sat on watching the guys pitch. Like he's old school.
Yeah.
He'll look at numbers and these things matter to him, but he's much more kind of old school with things that he likes to do, and it works, frankly. It just does. I mean, it's no accident. He's had like 100 guys drafted in his career. That's a ridiculous number. So it is a loss. There is no way around. You can't just sit there and say, it's great, no problem. Like there's a concern.
Yeah.
And Josh Reynolds was brought here for this exact reason.
Exactly.
But you're still, Tennessee baseball now has, in a month or so here, lost head coach, off-season head coach, and like full-time pitching czar. So it is different. Now, it is as much continuity relative to those kind of losses as you could want, because these are people who have been in the program, most of them, for years. So there is that continuity. And again, I don't think when you are at a college and you have an opportunity to go be a professional coach, like a head coach, or if you're a pitching coach at the college level and you get to be a pitching coach at the pro level, or if you're a strength coach at the college level and you get a chance to go be the strength coach for a Major League Baseball team, that's not the same as going from a college to a college. Like that's something that I think you have to say, okay. But there certainly was a sense, at least from fans, that there was a hope that
some of those pieces would stay.
That because of the situation, because you had some turnover, because you were obviously having a new head coach, I think people hoped that most of Tony Vitello's staff at San Francisco would be people who had significant MLB experience, because the Giants would want to do that, and so he wouldn't take some of the very key people from Tennessee with him. And it went from the best case scenario possible for Tennessee to now it's certainly not that, but it's not a bad situation. Well, they've got people there who are good at what they do, and they have a lot of talent, and I think they're going to be okay. But it does add some questions, and there are people who are going to feel a certain type of way for Vitello taking those two guys.
Yeah, we can end on this question. Do you think that if Vitello wouldn't have went to the pros and would have went to a different collegiate program, would he have the same pool from his guys to follow him? Because you mentioned, obviously, it's not the same as going college to college when you have an opportunity in the MLB. But is it the relationship
with
that's
Eberhard
bringing
and
them,
with
or
Frank
is it more like
yes?
Okay.
Because with Frank, any chance that he could have gotten, because if Vitello was going to leave the past couple seasons, it was going to be for either A&M or LSU. Like those are the places, A&M especially, that's tried a couple times to throw a lot of money at him.
Yeah.
And if he had gone to Texas, then at that point, well, I mean,
that's home.
That's home for Frank Anderson. With Ross Kivett, that's basically home. With Josh Elander, that's basically home. He's a TCU guy, so maybe that that would have. Elander may have stayed and become the head coach at Tennessee, and then Kivett probably stays with Elander because they're very close. But it would have been, and with Eberhardt, he would go if Tony Vitello went to Mars. Then Quentin Eberhardt would get on the Rover and go with him. Like he just would, because this was a guy who came with tennis or was with Vitello early on in Tennessee, left to become the head strength and conditioning coach of the Chicago Cubs, and then within a year
came back,
said, I miss Tony. I miss the college game. So he came back to work with Tony again. And like when they would go on road trips a lot, because Tony would be recruiting, so he would be in a car separate from the team bus going places. And like Eberhardt would usually be with Tony in the car. Like they are close. Like they are, you got head coach and off-season head coach.
Yeah.
And they're basically like minds. So I think he would have gone no matter what, probably. That's just a guess.
Okay.
But I think
curious.
What Tennessee has done here, you bring on the associate head coach and acting head coach at Florida to come with you, to come up to Tennessee. Huge. That's huge. Getting that guy, one of the best recruiters in the region, a guy who's going to be a head coach in a couple of years probably somewhere, tremendous. And then as big of a bummer as it is to lose Eberhardt, you bring in somebody who spent the past 8 seasons with the Chicago Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers. So, and what do the Milwaukee Brewers do? They punch above their weight because they consistently draft well and they consistently develop well and they know what they're doing. And so they go beat teams with 2 and 3 times the payroll they have.
Yeah.
And so you've got a good mix there, I think. So, yeah, I think it is a bummer. There's no doubt. You don't lose Frank Anderson and go, oh, whoop-de-doo, nothing. You don't lose Frank Anderson and go, whoop-de-doo, nothing.
Yeah.
Or Eberhardt, whoop-de-doo, nothing. Vitello, certainly, whoop-de-doo, nothing. You don't do that. But I think they're okay. And, again, I'll be interested to see the reaction because if Tennessee keeps winning, then people will smooth over this. But if Tennessee starts to dip at some point,
they're gonna
the feelings
run
are
back
going to be
this,
the feelings are going to be what they're going to be. But we also got some football to talk about and some basketball before you get out of here.
Yeah.
So where do you want? You know what? Do you want to go Miles Kitselman or do you want to go basketball? Which one? Where do you want to go first?
I don't know. I mean, I am going to Gainesville tomorrow morning. So
At what time? Remind everybody.
6 a.m. right after my night shift here.
Oh,
it's going to be a fun trip. And we're driving.
So disappointing. So disappointing that you got the short straw on that one.
That's okay. It's going to be, I've never been to the swamp, so I'm excited.
It's an experience.
It's going to be warm, which is nice. I don't know if it's going to be soupy, which
humid,
be
humid,
I'm sure.
Certainly.
But yeah, it'll be a short trip. It'll be a nice trip. It's a night game. Maddie, I don't know if you can reveal the Tennessee uniforms that they're wearing, but they're wearing all white, black gloves.
I would guess that if Florida's wearing blue jerseys, I bet Tennessee's in black gloves, but I haven't seen it yet. What are they? What's he going there? Can we zoom in? What's he got there on the glove?
I don't know. I can look it up on my phone too.
Yep, black gloves. Yep.
Black gloves.
Black gloves for the blue jerseys, so to mitigate holding penalties.
Yeah.
So that's the old hyper rule. But I think it is a cool place to watch a game, and you'll be on the field, so it won't matter. But like as far as people who are up in the press box riding, it's open air. The press box is so it's so it's an
of
experience.
Course, yeah, that's cool.
I mean, you're under an awning and you got fans, thankfully, but it's still. They call it the swamp for a reason. Like it's muggy, it's hot, and it's.
I'm excited.
I'm interested to see the vibe because this is not, and we talked about this a lot yesterday on the show, but it's not. It's a sad way for the annual Tennessee-Florida game to end, kind of the sad sack bowl with Florida being 3-7.
With not a lot on the line.
Yeah. Tennessee fans probably don't even, a majority of them probably don't even know the name of Florida's acting head coach.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest story is they could beat Florida in the swamp for the first time since 2003. So if that happens...
I was there. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I was
no gray hairs. I had no gray hairs then.
I was 2 years old.
That makes me feel so old.
Yeah.
That makes me feel so old because I could... Let's see, 83. Yep, I could legally buy adult beverages back then, and I was covering the game. So down there, they had the Hail Mary.
Yeah, we got the Hail Mary.
Half, and then 2 Jabari Davis touchdowns. I think J Train had about 6 or 8.
Yeah, it was kind of like a boring game, but the Hail Mary was right before the half, so I guess that gave some momentum to the Vols.
It was going to be 3-0 until that. It was 3-0 Florida until that Hail Mary.
Yes.
So, and it was a classic James Banks show up out of nowhere, make a big play. He was a really exciting player in that way. Also very exciting off the field. Some of the most hilarious off the field stories. Some of them probably could tell on this show. Some of them probably couldn't. But some really, really funny tales from his time as a Tennessee football player. So there was that is something. But it is sad kind of that this is the like Tennessee won't be back there until 2029. Florida doesn't play Tennessee next season. So Florida comes to Neyland in 27. Tennessee goes to the Swamp in 29. And so, but it is, at the end of the day, no matter what Tennessee's done this season, because it's been frustrating, you could go win at Florida, and that's something that hasn't happened in a while. So I would imagine the players are getting dialed in for that one.
Yeah, and of course, like going out of the regular season with 2 big conference wins, obviously Vanderbilt to close out the season.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a big win for Tennessee.
Best of the year would be.
Yeah, 1,000%. But yeah, I mean, not super high expectations and things on the line for either team. So it'll be interesting to see the turnout.
I'm interested in the setting too, because Florida hasn't. Here's the thing: Florida hasn't played at home in about a month or so. At least certainly haven't played at home this month, I don't think. And Florida's having a nightmare season. It's not even going to be bowl eligible. You know, it's so funny. There's so many people that I've known over the years that cover Florida, and so normally during this week, we're texting a lot. We're sending messages back and forth like, hey, what are you hearing about this or that? Or, hey, you want to come on the show? Or like, I'll go join their podcast and they'll come on our show. We're normally doing all that during Florida week. This week, I think I've sent a couple of guys a couple of messages, and they were about Florida's coaching search. They weren't about like...
They're not about the game.
Yeah, they were like, hey, what's going on with Lane? Y'all showing Layla around town and Knox and all that, just kidding around with them.
Yeah.
But not like, hey, what do you think about the game this week? Who's out? Who's in? What was about the matchups?
That's interesting.
We're not talking... Like, it's so weird. Like, I haven't swapped any messages with Spencer Hall at all this week talking about stuff or any of my guys down there. And it's funny because there is one of my favorite guys who covers Florida looks very, very, very much like Dave, the rapper. Hi, I'm Dave.
Oh, and, really?
Oh, he's got the hair just like him. You're going to bring, hopefully during basketball season, we'll bring him on because he is an absolute delight, and the hair is just so magnificent. But
Can't wait to see it.
But we've not talked a lot about the game, and I'm interested because it is Tennessee at night, right? So it's been a miserable season for Florida, but it's not going to a bowl game now. So the next 2 weeks, though, it is hosting Tennessee and then hosting Florida State. Mm-hmm. So it's ending the season with 2 traditionally huge home games at the Swamp. So these are ones that people probably bought tickets for months ago, right?
Yeah.
And planned weekends around this, like going back to the alma mater.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's still a big rivalry. I mean, when Tennessee got its three annual opponents, I mean, Florida was obviously in that conversation to still be the team that Tennessee plays every single year. But historically, I mean, Tennessee has bigger rivals.
This tells you a lot of the story. This is, at least according to one of the sites that I'm looking at here for tickets. Right now, it says you can get tickets for this game for as low as $60.
Wow.
Which I would imagine in this series might be the cheapest this century. Even with inflation and all those things, like I can't imagine during the 90s you could have gotten a ticket for that. I don't imagine around the aughts you could get a ticket for that. I don't think there's ever been a time probably in this series where you could get a ticket for this game for that much money. So but it's the Swamp at night, and so it's an event. It's
gonna be cool.
What's gonna happen? Like, what's the crowd gonna be like? Are they gonna? Do they even sit there and still boo? Because what if you're a Florida fan at this point? What are you booing? Like, the head coach is gone. Mm-hmm. You're gonna be bringing in a new coach. You know, the players, they've got 12 players listed as out for this game, and another 6 or 7. Yeah, it's comical. If I think Maddie could probably show this too. Maddie, you search a Florida availability report or Florida injury report, and you can see just how extensive it is. By far the longest list in the league. I think it's a dozen guys who are listed as out, and then I think there's probably 5 or 6 that are in the other piles, like questionable and probable. It is
like the SEC Sport website.
Yes. Or you can even search it on Twitter. There'll be graphics of it. It has a Tennessee helmet and a Florida helmet, and it'll show.
Give me 1 second.
And it's comical.
Oh, there it is, right there, right?
Comical. Look at the size. Look at the size of that. That's what you call an extensive injury report right there.
Yeah, that stinks.
And it's been that way for a while. And Florida this season has played the toughest schedule.
Yeah, we did say that. I've ever seen. I think it was six top 10 teams. Yes. I think throughout the course of the season. And now another top 15, top 20 caliber team in Tennessee. A team that could, in theory, it's not completely eliminated from the playoff, but it's not going to the playoff. So but I've never seen, and I said this going into the season, I said why the SEC did Florida dirty. And Florida was also playing some other games in here. I mean, it's not like they're trying to do that, but and still, with all that said, no matter what
Florida's injury report is, the coaching situation is, the setting is like. I do not pick Tennessee to win in Gainesville. And
Really?
Elijah's already gone on record saying he's picking a Tennessee win. And I think
I can see that.
I think earlier this week, if I remember
We gotta
correctly,
pull the Foxy page out from the studio.
Yes.
He asks everybody.
yes, and I know Elijah went on record. I think Maddie also went on record saying Tennessee's going to win. I think she said that Monday. Is that correct?
Yep.
Monday she said that, and I think Tom even said he thought Tennessee would win.
I think Tennessee's gonna win.
So I'm the only
You just
one
pulled
on
up
this
their
island.
injury report.
Am I the only person on this? I'm on an
You
island.
might be.
And
I
if-
mean, I've never been to Gainesville. I know it's a hostile
shower
environment,
before,
but
shower before you go.
okay.
The tap water
Before-
is disgusting.
Before and after, I'm sure.
It's
Yeah.
the nastiest tap. I mean, honestly, I said this earlier. I've been multiple times to places in this world where they talk about the water quality being bad, including I've been in like a remote village in Mexico and taken a shower, and it was the water in Gainesville smells worse.
Ew. Okay.
North Florida, the water
I
is
wish
terrible.
you did
It's
not
awful.
tell me that.
I'm telling you ahead of time. Get a good shower in before you go, because
Okay.
once you get, hey, it's a long road trip.
Yeah.
You always want to take a shower when you're done with the long road
long
trip.
drive, yeah.
And I'm just giving you a heads up.
Okay.
It's not going to
Good.
be pleasant. So
It's good to know.
that's unfortunate. I'm sorry that I have to break that to you, but that's
okay.
That's unfortunate. I think
I mean-
it's better for you to know ahead of time. You can prepare yourself.
That's fair. That's fair.
Honestly, I might have some insight into that.
Really?
Please do.
Because my grandparents lived in Yulee,
Yes.
which was home to Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
My grandparents lived there for a little bit, and their septic tank was in their yard because it can't go underground because they were so close to sea level. If
Oh.
if I'm correct, I might be wrong.
Hey, I've got family in Jacksonville. I got a bunch of family in St. Simon's Island. There's a bunch of family members down there on the island, and in that just area in particular, it's just not pleasant. The water is not a great situation.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm just giving you a heads up on that. But I think it's really weird that there's got to be other people. I'm going to have to find somebody else
I'm
in this
sure.
office
Yeah,
who's
there's always-
picking a Florida win, because
Maddie, who-
if not, I'm going to be the biggest jerk.
There's
in this
always
place.
someone who writes their score prediction down always against Tennessee. Is it Bryce? It's Bryce.
Oh, is it?
It's Bryce.
I'm not sure. I
He
didn't know he did
always, no matter what the matchup is. So maybe you could talk to him, but he seems to be biased regardless.
Well, I have seen Tennessee lose a game every way you can lose a game in that place. I've seen Tennessee get blown out when it should have been a close game. I've seen Tennessee lose when it should have won. I have seen Tennessee just completely forget to block people, miss assignments, fumble the ball multiple times at the goal line, give up Hail Marys. I have seen a couple
lot
of
of
Tennessee
things.
wins and like a dozen plus Tennessee losses in that place. And so it's just kind of like when Kentucky plays Tennessee in football. It's just you expect that it's going to do some dumb stuff it doesn't do the rest of the season, and it's going to find a way to lose. That's not, again, I'm not saying what I want to happen, because what I want to happen is irrelevant. I think we try to be honest here,
Yeah.
and I just never pick Tennessee winning in Gainesville.
That's fair.
I'm
You
gonna
have
have to see it
experience.
more.
You have experience there.
Scars,
Yeah, scars.
got scars there. And
Yeah.
so
I don't have any ties, so I'm just there to work.
so you're just looking objectively at Team X
Always.
and Team Y.
You have to.
Well, no, but I'm saying you're just looking at Team X and Team Y, and you're saying Team X is better than Team Y. That's what.
Well, it just looks like Tennessee has more pros than cons than if you look at Florida.
I think so. But Florida has also, if you look at Florida's schedule, Kentucky,
They should not have.
that Kentucky game was just rough. It was a disaster class for Florida.
That's what I'm saying.
But the rest of Florida's schedule, I mean, I'll go.
Yeah, I know they were close games.
They were. I'm looking at it right now. They,
But how many of those
USF
players
good team.
were on the injury report? You know,
a
you got
few, but
a few.
not as many as now, but a bunch still.
I mean, it is a way for Florida to end the regular season with a big rival game, a big crowd. It would be I'm sure that both teams will be very hyped up going into this
Yeah,
one,
'cause,
regardless of what is at stake.
Yeah, because Florida lost home USF by 2, and USF, as we've seen with Alex Golis, that's a good football team. At LSU, which has not proved to be a good football team, but at the time was ranked 3rd, lost 20-10 in Death Valley at night. Miami, big game, lost 26-7. It was closer than that until late. And then they go beat Texas 29-21.
Texas is.
Texas has got a better resume than Tennessee, but Texas, and then they go to Texas A&M, lose 34-17. It was closer than that for a lot of the
Yeah,
games.
the SEC's been wonky this year.
Then Georgia
It really has.
24-20 lost to Georgia. That's it. And then at Ole Miss,
Yeah, Tennessee.
34-24.
Tennessee should have beat Georgia this year.
And Florida had every chance to beat Ole Miss in Oxford. So, I mean, it's interesting because this Florida team, kind of keeps, except for Kentucky, has just gotten off the mat and continued to fight, and it just doesn't find ways to win games.
When's the last time they played a home game?
Mississippi State.
How many weeks ago was that?
4 or 5. It was a while.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I'm still going to take Tennessee.
I just think that before you get out of here, I know you got to go here in a second. That this screams to me close game.
Really?
Yes. No matter what, even if Tennessee wins, I think close game. The best case scenario for Tennessee is having one of those really fast Josh Heupel starts out of the gate and taking the will out of Florida and the fans. Because once those Florida fans see those Tennessee helmets for just a minute, they'll have had a full day there at Gainesville to get prepared, to get lubricated, to get sauced and get ready.
Yep.
And it's the swamp at night. They're going to see those Tennessee uniforms. They're going to be loud.
Haven't been in the swamp in 4 to 5 weeks.
They're going to be loud.
Have really nothing to lose.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're going to see those Tennessee helmets come out of that tunnel, and they're going to boo. They're going to be loud. But if Tennessee has one of those fast Heupel starts where you put up 14-21 in the first quarter, make a big play, hit a couple vertical shots to Brazel or Matthews or Staley, or Bishop hits a seam and he's gone.
They've got a lot of their pieces. We haven't even talked about Miles being out yet.
No, but
regardless, Tennessee has a lot of key pieces that will be on the field.
Yes.
As long as, Joey Aguilar plays clean football and
I think
their receivers do what they need to do.
Yeah. The only scenario that I see like that's a real, I mean, anything's possible in life. I'm not going to sit here and say anything's impossible, but the best case scenario for Tennessee is jumping out early, taking the fight out of them, and then you're coasting, hopefully, for the most part. But if you don't do that, then you're in for a fight, and I do not trust this team against a decently talented opponent, a similarly talented opponent, in a close game. There's been 3 of those this season, and they've lost all of them. So, and I don't think State, they're better than State, and that turned into a close game. They're better than Arkansas, and that turned into a close-ish game down the stretch, close-ish. But the discipline on the road, like Heupel's never won down there. Now, a lot of Tennessee coaches never won in Gainesville, but Heupel's got to go get one of those. He's got to go to one of these places and get a win. At some point, for all the good things they've done at Tennessee, you have got to go to Tuscaloosa, Athens, or Gainesville and get a win. You've got to do it. You've got to. It's got to happen. They've got to go do that. That is, when you look at the 2 or 3 things for the Tennessee program that I think that are keeping it from being exactly where it wants to be, it's those performances on the road. They've got to go get more of those. And this is an opportunity to go get one of those, even though it won't be seen as a big deal by a lot of people. For the Tennessee program, it would be.
Yeah.
I think.
There's, again, it's a chance to make some history for the first time since 2003.
Not the first time in your life, but the second.
Yeah, second. Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, we can end on this. It's not going to be the way they would probably want to end the annual streak of playing each other with the stakes being not super high. But at the end of the day, it's a big SEC game.
Yeah.
A night game. There's a reason why they're playing at night, also.
You're only guaranteed 12 of these a year.
Yeah.
And I've always said this, no matter how a season's going, this isn't baseball in the pros where you get 162 guaranteed, or in college where you get 55, 60 guaranteed. It's not basketball where you got 30, 40 games guaranteed. You get 12 guaranteed games. So no matter how a season is going, and for Tennessee, it's not like it's been a terrible season. It's just been a disappointing one. But that's okay. It's not.
They've had a lot of adversity thrown their way.
It's not a burn everything and fire everybody kind of season, but it's disappointing. And so that's okay. But you get 12 of these. You get 12 of these, guaranteed. That's what you get. That's all you get.
Yeah.
So
and again,
no matter what's
to
going
make some
on,
history. Yep.
So no matter what's going on, talk about your frustration during the week, vent it, and then Saturday you get on the horse and you get ready for a game because you only get 12 of these, and we're supposed to love this stuff. We live in this part of the country. You're supposed to love this stuff,
well,
right?
Yeah, that's what the players say too. You got 2 guaranteed games left to play. The mindset from the beginning of the year, regardless of towards the end of the year, I don't think changes for a lot of these players. I think they are a group that likes consistency a lot of the time, and they prep in the same amount of days, and they all do their own thing. And I think it's not just another game; it's a big game. But at the end of the day, they want to go out and win these last 2 regular season games.
Yeah, ask Miles Kitselman what he would do to play in this game. Ask Miles Kitselman how much he would give to play in this game. And so that's, I think, Emilie, I know you got to go. You got to get out of here. You got to get ready for stuff. Got to get stuff for newscasts. We got anchor. What are you're anchoring at?
We got the 6 p.m. show. We're gonna preview men's and women's basketball. Talk a little bit about the unis that we talked about earlier for football.
Stormtrooper.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not too hectic of a day because again we got to leave bright and early. Olivia Dag and I are making
you
the
and
trip.
Olivia do. My dog and I are gonna be asleep in our bed at that point of the day.
I'm gonna be wishing
the wife and the son will be gone, and the dog and I will still be sitting there snoring.
Yeah, but first trip to Gainesville, so I'm excited. The swamp is gonna be a hot one. So
it is gonna be a hot one. But it's not in September though. When this game was in September down there, you would have needed to hydrate, and you would have needed.
Yeah,
You would have needed the most sunscreen.
Pack multiple options for clothing because you never know what the weather's going to be like down there.
And hair stuff for the humidity. Just
totally.
As a heads up.
Yeah, good
so
idea.
get on out of here. I know you got to go. Get on
Bye,
out of here.
Maddie.
And this is what I love about this. She can just go open the door and leave during the show, and it's fine. And somebody could. Although look what she did. She didn't shut the door. And 0 for 2. Let's see if she can get it now. Nope, she gave up. She's not even. She swung at strike 1 and strike 2, and then she kept the bat on her shoulder. She did not even attempt a swing. And it's funny because she's like, I didn't want to make a big noise, and it's like, dude, you're opening the door and leaving during the show. I don't think people are going to be upset if it's it made a little clicky sound when I shut it. We're not formal here. This is a mullet of a show. We are a mullet. We're a little business, but we're also here to party. We're informal. But I'll say this. This is what I was saying when Emilie attempted to leave a second ago, and then eventually left without shutting the door. Is that ask Miles Kitselman what he'd give to play in this game. If Wendell Moe's not able to go, ask him what he'd do to play in this game. So, yes. At the end of the day, it is a Tennessee-Florida game. Now, it's not a classic Tennessee-Florida game. It's not. You look at what this thing has been historically. This ain't that. It ain't that. But it's an opportunity to go play in a big SEC game, in a rivalry game. And if you're Tennessee, maybe there's still an outside scenario where you get back into the playoff discussion. You're ranked 20th. It's not the end of the world. The issue that I see is still that when they get to that point, even if they win these next 2, I think other 3-loss teams are going to have better resumes. So that's – but, if you're Josh Heupel, if you're the Tennessee players, you don't want to give up hope on that because it's a possibility like that. It's the carrot and the carrot right there at the end of the stick. You're still chasing it. It's still technically there. It's still on the horizon. It's still possible that you could get there, but not likely going to happen. And it is unfortunate for Kitselman. We kind of knew this was coming, but what I'm not going to do is blame Tennessee for having him out there in that situation because, yes, Tennessee was going to win that game. Yes, Tennessee had a pretty good lead over New Mexico State at that time. All those things happen. But I'm really glad I silenced my phone because it just went off a second ago. But if you have to play the game, you play your guys to play the game. And there might be more reasons that Kitselman was out there, not just for himself. he is a really important part of their offense, and it's possible that you're trying to get a running back going. And so you want to have one of the better blockers out there to have somebody get a better chance of getting a touchdown to get their confidence going. You know, you might, somebody like Ethan Davis coming back from injury might be on a rep count. Someone like, Van Dorsel there might need a confidence injection after what happened there at the end of the Oklahoma game and that drop pass on 4th down. You could be running a concept on offense that you trust Kitselman to run, and the other 2 or 3 you're not quite sure about. There could be myriad reasons. There could be a number of reasons why Kitselman was still in that football game. And it's not like it was 70-0 at that point. It wasn't. So, yes, Heupel has been, I think, a bit reluctant at times to start kind of emptying the chamber and going with some of the younger guys late in games and giving them reps. And, yeah, you could say that that's not great. But I just, on the number of things that I'm going to put on a list to criticize somebody for, I'm not going to have playing a guy in a game in there. Excuse me. It's football. It's football. Guys get hurt. You could be out there for 10 plays. You could be out there for 80 plays. Now, if you're out there for 80 plays, you're probably pretty tired and there's a better chance you get hurt. But you're going to get hurt. From the day that football season starts, and I mean the very first day, you're sore. And you're sore until the season ends. Because by the third day, by your third preseason practice, you're putting on shells. By your 5th preseason practice, you're putting on pads. Once you start doing that, you're going to hurt. You're going to get hurt. It could happen in practice. It could happen during a workout. You can get hurt, and you get hurt in this game. So there's things that I have and that I have criticized and I will criticize Heupel for because I don't work for Tennessee. It's not my job. I work for WBIR. I work for 10 News. I work for Tegna. I don't think I'm being honest if I'm sitting there trying to just defend somebody for the sake of doing it. I'll criticize, and I have and I will. I don't care about that. It's fine. Like, you guys just tell the truth or what your version of the truth is or what your opinion is. I guess I would say truth in the sense that, my truth or somebody else's truth. It's the sense of like, this is what I think. It's not what I know, it's what I think. I'm not going to blame a coach for a starter getting hurt in the third quarter of a mostly a blowout game. I'm not. If it's 70-0 in the fourth quarter and you're doing it, I got a little more problem with that. But I'm guessing, think about it like this. Joey Aguilar played just a couple extra plays in that game against New Mexico State because he wanted to keep his 200-yard streak going. And so I think he had 197 passing yards, and he's been over 200, I think, like every time he's ever started at the college level or something close to that. It had been a ridiculous number of games in a row. And he was at 197. So let him go out there and throw one pass and then got him off the field. I mean, it's not – he could have gotten hurt on that play. And if he had, well, people be saying much worse things now. But I just don't – I don't – your job as a coach is to play players. Sometimes you play them and they get hurt. I'm not going there. And I will say this. I hate it for Kitselman. I really do. I really, really do. But I guess now for whatever you want to call it, the Ethan Davis era is here. He's a guy who would have played much earlier in the season if he hadn't been hurt himself. He's a really talented guy. I don't think he gives you what Kitselman does in the run game. Just to be honest, when you watch film and you watch Kitselman go pull and drive somebody, and then you watch Davis do it, it's not the same. Like I don't know if it's going to help Tennessee's run game a lot, just to be candid about it. But I do think that maybe there's a few more things in the pass game you can do now. And Kitselman's good at that. I mean, he's an NFL prospect. He'll have a chance to play in the league. I don't know if he will, but he'll at least be in a camp. Might even be a late-round pick. But Davis has more dynamics. Van Dorselaar is a very exciting prospect. even Cole Harrison, the other freshman, I think he's a pretty solid prospect. So, you can look at anything any way you want to look at it. One, I'm not going crazy at Heupel for this. Two, it's unfortunate, but the Ethan Davis era is here. I mean, if Jerry Colquitt and, Todd Helton had gotten hurt, the Peyton Manning era would have been later. But he got that experience, and it was great for Tennessee in the long run. So the very nature of this thing is that sometimes your opportunity comes when someone else's ends. You don't want to sound crass when you say that, but it is a business, and it is next man up. That's why they say it all the time, next man up. It's football. It's football, dude. It's a meat grinder. It's a meat grinder. Guys get hurt. And I think I'm interested to see now, because Davis is a guy who everybody's been excited about since he was a prospect. He's a big-time prospect, signed with Tennessee a long time ago. It feels like, 3 years ago now? It feels like ancient times. But he's redshirted. He's dealt with injuries. And now we get to go see what he can do. And if he can go do what, like, David Hobbs has done on the defensive line when he was out early this season with injuries, another guy, a couple years in the program, dealt with injuries, finally out there playing, and looks really, really good. Big number 5 on the D-line. Go watch film of that guy. That guy looks good. Maybe Ethan Davis gives you more dynamics in the pass game now. Now, maybe it's 3rd and 7, and normally you would want to go to Kitselman there, and Aguilar has faith in Kitselman. We'll see if it's the same with Davis. I think it probably should be. He's gone to Ethan on some 4th downs and stuff this season, so he should be okay. And it's also been, some of the biggest blunder plays of the season have been where a pass was intended for Kitselman, and he either dropped it or the throw was off, and Alabama took it 100 yards for a touchdown to change that game. There have been some plays this season where he should make those plays, and he hasn't. Alabama's not his fault. That was Aguilar just throwing a bad ball at the worst time you could throw a bad ball, putting it the one place you couldn't put it. But I think it's kind of exciting to see what Ethan Davis can do. I think, and Van Dorselaer, be a good way to get Van Dorselaer some confidence, because let me tell you, as a freshman, that play against Oklahoma, that's the kind of thing that sticks with you. That sticks with you for a long time. That 4th down, just dropped it. And so he's a guy that everybody really likes. He had multiple touchdowns in the orange and white game. He looked good in camp. Big, strong Texas kid. He's going to have a bright career in this game. Maybe now he gets a chance to go out there and get more reps, and he does something good with them. Maybe he gets a touchdown or 2 in the swamp. Who knows? And so when you start to look at these things, it can sound crass, but everybody's got to get their chance somehow. Everybody who gets their chance gets it one way or another. And it's either because the guy in front of you graduated or transferred, or you just beat him out for the position, you played better than him, or he gets hurt, and now you're in there. Everybody knows the Wally Pipp story. Wally Pipp never takes a day off, then he takes a day off. In steps Lou Gehrig. Wally Pipp never starts again. So that's how sports goes. You hate this for Kitselman. Watching him at the end of that game, seeing the clips of him on the sideline, just devastated, it breaks your heart. Because you know what these guys put into this. You should, anyway. I would imagine most of y'all watching and listening to this know how much time on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis, how much these guys put into this. It's not a 40-hour work week. They're doing school, and then they're doing this. And physically, they're pushing themselves. Mentally, psychologically, they're pushing themselves. Thank God they have more, mental health support now. That's been needed for a long time. And you see incidents like with the Cowboys recently and all that. Like you're glad they have that now, and they need more of it. But they're getting more than they used to, which is good. So you see what these guys put into this, And then for a senior, only a couple games left in his career, goes down with what looks like a big injury. There's nothing fun about that. There's nothing good about that. It's one of those things like, it's a slightly different scenario, but with Estrella the other day in basketball, if that could have been another significant injury when he just gotten back from another one. I mean, Danny White, Tennessee's athletic director, smacked a chair and got angry the second he saw Estrella hit the floor. Because not just what that meant for the team, but what that may have meant for the kid. And you know what they put into it. And in football, you're one play away. Every play, especially in football, you're one play away from the whole thing being over. The entire thing. It's a sobering thought. It's a depressing thought. But it's there. So that's why you tell people, hey, every single game you got, every play you got, might be the last you get. So enjoy yourselves and have fun and do the best you can. Because it might be the last one. If an injury's bad enough, with what science is these days, even as good as it is, as good as medicine is, it could still be the last play that you have. It could be. And you hope that doesn't happen. But, and also if you're a senior and you're one of the many people who, as the NCAA loves to tell us, will go pro in something other than sports, that an injury that ends your season as a senior probably ends your athletic career. So, yes, you see situations like this, and it breaks your heart. But you can't dwell on it. I mean, they obviously have to. That's their life. But for everybody else, man, you still got a job to do. There's no nice way to say that. You still got to go. You still got a job. You got to go play. The team has got to play. And the team's playing a big game against a big rival. Not as big as it usually is, but still a big game. You're still ranked. Still got a puncher's chance at a decent postseason. You never know. Weirder things have happened. I mean, it's not going to happen. But weirder things have happened. And so you just have to – it's the next man up. It's your chance now. It sucks, but go play for him. I mean, that's – go play for the guy. That's the best case scenario. You go play for the guy. And so, yeah, I mean, I hate the time that it happened. I hate that it happened at all. Both the time in that game, with the nature of that game, with the time on the calendar, with the player it was. Sucks, man. But I just it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing, Maddie, how like crass you sound when you say things like this. When you say like, man, this really sucks. I hate it for you. But show goes on.
See, I'm very much I'm definitely an NFL girl more than I am a college football girl.
Because the Jacksonville Jaguars and their dynastic run.
The dynasty we're building. No, but when you're talking about this, it reminded me, because I was trying to think, who's a player who's someone who got their start, and you named a few, because someone else got hurt. Did someone get hurt when Brock Purdy started? Was that an injury, or did they just give him a chance?
I'm trying to remember. They had brought in I think somebody else to be the starter. They had Garoppolo maybe. It may have been Garoppolo. May have been Jimmy Garoppolo, who they brought over from the Patriots to be the guy.
Oh yeah.
And Purdy,
right.
the late round pick just ended up
being better.
Same thing with with at the end of his career, Drew Bledsoe, and then Tom Brady comes in as a 6th round pick and just learns on him and takes it over. So fair. I mean that's what happens. Guys get hurt or guys don't succeed, and the next guy comes up, and it's like, it's not. It's one of those things that you just don't. At least in the locker room, you don't really talk about because
it sucks.
What's that all there? But for the grace of God, go I. Like it's it could be you next, and that's why when people say, enjoy what you have, play while you can as well as you can, because you never know. There's a lot of us like Harry high school guys like here didn't want to go play baseball at some very small college, and so it's like I'll just go to school and have fun now. I'll just go to a big school and have fun. And so the last game that you play, then it's the last. You can go play intramurals, but it's the last time you'll play like an organized like team school sanctioned thing, like what people call real sports. And so yeah, like that ball stops rolling for everybody at some point. And you don't want it to, but it does.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why.
Well, especially, I think, like I think of it from an NFL perspective. I mean, if you're in the NFL, you're making some. I mean,
the league minimum is still nice.
You're making some money.
It's nice.
Like I think of, my husband's a massive Steelers fan, so I think of like Ryan Shazier, and like they took care of him after he had an absolutely devastating injury.
Yes.
But they took care of him, and I still think he's somewhat associated with the team now. Yes. But with college kids, it's all they've known their whole life, and and now with NIL they're making some money, but
pretty decent money in some cases.
But
really good money in some cases.
It's but
some of them be making more than be making more than me.
Yeah, and that helps. But for the ones that aren't,
yes.
I feel it is because it's all they've known. They've worked their whole lives for it. It is really sad. It stinks.
That's why. But before we get out of here in just a minute or two, nobody. I don't remember many times, if any times, when any of the athletes that I've covered have been like, Wes, what is some of your advice on life? I mean, maybe a couple times someone's like, hey, what do you think about this or what do you think about that? But no one's just explicitly been like, hey, do you have advice for me in my life? Not really how that goes. Not that directly anyway. But if anybody ever asked me that question, I say the same thing. I would say the exact same thing to all of them, which is get your degree because nobody can take that away from you. If you get hurt, you can still get a degree. There's no reason to not be there, take advantage of all those tutors and get a degree.
Knowledge is power.
Go get a degree. Now, it doesn't mean what it used to be honest, but it still means something. Yeah, no. Still opens doors for you for other things. Okay. So go get that degree. Play every play like it's the last one you might play because it might be. And treat the way that you treat everybody on your way up is the exact same way they're going to treat you on your way down. It's a rule of life. The way you treat people on the way up is usually what life gives you when you're heading back down. So when your career's done, you might need a job. It's a lot of boosters at these places who have, jobs to give people, right? And treat people well. You might make a nice career living here, one day or somewhere in Nashville or Memphis or Atlanta or Charlotte or somewhere. Like you might have that opportunity. So again, sucks, and I hate it for Miles Kitselman. I think he's still got a chance to go play some ball. Hopefully, we don't know specifics, but hopefully he's all right for the long run. So sucks, but you move on. Tennessee's going to go play a game. We got one more day this week to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. It is Thursday, right? That is today. I'm not crazy.
It is Thursday, yes.
Yes, because we got to go cover basketball tonight. So we'll have more tomorrow on the basketball games from this evening. Emilie, Cochrane, and I will be at Food City Center tonight, and we'll have also coverage from Murfreesboro, where Tennessee, the Lady Vols, are playing MTSU. We will have more to talk about Tennessee, Florida tomorrow. There's a chance that we have Elijah in here tomorrow. I don't want to speak for him, but I think there's a chance that he steps in here into the ring with us and takes some swings. So hopefully his vibes are always good. We love when Elijah's in here. So regardless, we got a lot more to discuss tomorrow. We will do it. Thanks for watching today, and we will see you in about 23 hours.